were talking about it earlier too. You have a podcast, but you said you haven't been doing it.
I do. I've been quietly taking a break. You know, I'm never one to be like, Wings with Friends is taking a hiatus for the, you know what I mean? Nobody's thinking about you. Nobody cares. Don't advertise it. You know, and then do it when you feel like it. It's my project. You know, I can pick it up when I want.
I got to do it. It was fun. We did it at the Big Pine.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah.
Hillary really gave me the opportunity and the space to do so much podcasting there.
Yeah, and it was. I'm not a big Buffalo Wings fan, but I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. And then you started really teaching me about flats and wings and it was drums and flats, right?
Yeah. Most people already know that.
And I didn't because I never ate them, and because I don't like chicken wings because it's like sunflower seed. It's a lot of work for a little reward.
That's why you order flats, though.
Yeah,
you still have to take it off the bone, though. It's very
it's fair.
And there's method
primal.
too.
Mm-hmm.
I even seen it on a TikTok once, like how to do it correctly because. I was so after I did your podcast, I was like, hey, these are not actually that bad. So then when I went up somewhere and I had wings. And I'd get done, and people would look at my plate, and they're like, "Look at all that meat left."
Oh yeah, see.
And I didn't know that's another faux pas.
There's the faux pas. There's etiquette. And that's kind of why I kind of made that the cornerstone of the podcast, because it's not really about wings; it's about people. Mm-hmm. But sometimes how you enjoy your wings, where you enjoy wings, and it's like a Super Bowl party, Friday after a long week of work. It's more about the people you're with and the fun you're having.
Yeah, because I'm it's so funny too, because you said that being at Super Bowl party and stuff like that, and that's actually where I was at when I was eating the wings.
See?
and they were all I didn't know that I was leaving that much meat on the tops. Well, because I get to those little nub parts and I get kind of scared.
Oh yeah, me too. But you know what somebody told me once, because I had this conversation a lot. They said, you know what? I paid for this wings. I'll eat them how I want to.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
In this economy, you better clean those wings.
And then, so we first met, actually, I think we did first meet there at the Big Pine, right?
Probably. Something between either Big Pine, Sacramento Laughs Unlimited, somewhere around there.
And then we did the Comedy Catch together.
Yeah, I opened for you there.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then, have I featured for you other places? I feel like maybe at maybe not.
I want to say, I'm thinking, was it in Phoenix anywhere?
Well, you know what just came up in my memories, and it was this time, it was in the last week, about 5 years ago. You were at the Comedy Spot.
Hilarious.
And I had decided I was going to go see you. Hey, friend, I'm going to go see you because you're in town. Because I think we had just had, Big Pine or whatever. So I was really trying to, cultivate friendships in comedy. And I remember it was kind of uneventful.
What, at the Comedy Spot?
I think so. Yeah. I never really used to go to the Comedy Spot.
No, yeah. It was a weird thing there.
Yeah. So I don't think I missed anything. And then, the pandemic happened 2 weeks later. Pretty much we went home.
Well,
Everybody
because
went home.
you came out, and it was great because, I'm going to Phoenix and it was Scottsdale, and I just met a lot of people at that time, like you said, the Big Pine thing. So when you came, I was like, oh yeah, I have friends here now. I'm part of the scene a little bit here now.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So that's, for me, I took it as a yeah, fuck yeah. I was like, Mary came out, and I was like, I saw Mary again, because for me it's when you run into your friends or you run into the comics that you just got done working with, and you get to know, get to rapport, like Tony B would be there too, and you would be there, and then and the thing about that place too, he wasn't very comic friendly unless you did his.
I've heard things,
class.
Yeah, and then he just wanted you to do that. He didn't want you to do other clubs.
Yeah, because that's funny that you said that. So
as I've heard.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Allegedly,
his name. It's so funny because that's another thing too. So this guy his name was Sean. What's his last name? Can't remember his last name.
McGillicuddy?
Probably.
I'm just throwing out names.
And he owned this Comedy Spot. It was in Scottsdale, and he would book it, and you couldn't do any other rooms. And if you found out you're doing another room, you couldn't do his room anymore.
Wow.
And Tom hit me up because I met Tom at the Big Pine the next year, and he was like, "Oh man," I was like, "Yeah, I'd like to come and work your club." He was like, "I headline." I was like, "Great," and then he goes. I go, I work the Comedy Spot too. And he goes, he goes, well, how about this? How about you just do that room until Sean does something Sean? And I was like, what? And I guess he was gonna at some point he'll have a problem with you and he'll kick you out of his club. And he goes, and then when you're done with that, he goes, you come over mine and I'll book you.
That's a really nice offer.
Tom is great. Tom is a fucking, but
Tom.
the comedy spot's no longer there. He stopped. But and you know what's funny too is I'm watching This Is Us on what you call it, NBC.
Cry fest, just tears.
Oh my god!
I cried so much of that show.
Right? I was like, I remember everyone saying how sad it was, and I was like, I'm gonna see. Fuck that! I ain't done. Gonna make me cry. Oh my god! It's like a test because it's so sad. It's not sad. It's still joyful, I guess, because there's a lot of tears of happiness and human connection and whatnot. But all of a sudden, he pops up.
Oh, he was on it, wasn't he? Where was it? I think I remember that.
He was on a whole bunch of NBC shows as an extra, and he had lines on all. So I'd always see him pop up, and I never really. It was so funny because I'm watching. I was like, "Why the fuck do I know this dude?" And I go, "This guy books me." I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I didn't really know him. I think when I went there, I was gonna try to like, "Hey, I'm Mary," but I don't know, and then I just kind of left it alone. And then the pandemic happened, so it wasn't an issue.
How'd you deal with the pandemic?
I did okay. Gosh, I hate to say it like this, but looking back, what a nice time. I wish I had done more, because there's people who created characters and content and really popped off since then, and now they're on world tours. I'm really jealous. It's not for the lack of trying, though, because we did. We used to film content and do podcasts, but of course, it was lonely, but I was pretty safe because I lived alone. And I worked from home, so that was nice. I was really fortunate that I kept my job through the whole thing, so I'm grateful for that. And then I did a lot of Zoom shows, but I was in Arizona, so I was back on stage in June of 2020.
Oh, yeah, they didn't give a fuck, yeah. That's one thing I noticed, too. I went to Arizona, and then I had a mask, and they were like, what the fuck are you doing with the mask on? And I was like, oh.
It seems like it was 5 years ago.
That's crazy, right?
And things were getting going for me. Because I had a really good 2019. I was like, 2020. I still have my vision board, all the things I was going to do, all the places I was going to go. I was like, nope, you're not going nowhere.
Speaking of places that you wanted to go, what's the best place that you've been to that you're surprised about? Like, I really like this place.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I love Chattanooga.
Isn't it so quaint?
And I've always had a good time in Tennessee. Nashville, Memphis, and now Chattanooga. I really like it. The last time when I was there with you was really good. The last time I was there, it wasn't as good for me. There was a show I feel like nobody liked me, and I'm like, what? Me? You don't like me?
Yeah. Why not? I didn't do nothing wrong to you guys.
They could smell the liberalness on me.
They're like, yeah.
I don't know. I just had a hard time, but it's okay. They're not gonna like you anywhere. I moved to Vegas 2 years ago, and am I getting spoiled? Am I getting comfortable? But I do like to travel, but I also really want to work here.
Yes.
So I'm in a weird spot where I'm just like, wait, you need to get out a little bit more, or you're getting complacent. I don't know.
It's a crazy thing because it's like this is Vegas can turn into a cruise ship on land. It could turn into, I just only have Vegas-centric jokes about hotels and, walks to get to one casino to the next. Or
I don't have any Vegas jokes.
Yeah? Well, I mean, it could when you start to, rev up to, your beginnings, just your beginning set, too, sometimes, or just, the first 5 minutes just to get the crowd. Yeah. Especially because you're dealing with, tourists and drunks. It's like, you get drunks, at comedy clubs, but it's not at here. It's a bar. Right. It's a bar show on steroids with and so you start to pick up those. But any place that you do for too long, you'll pick up a bad habit of that area or of that spot.
What place has surprised and delighted you? What do you like?
What's funny? It's actually Phoenix.
Oh.
I didn't think I was going to like Phoenix as much as I did. And I started going to there. I started going to Scottsdale, and then I started doing Glendale, and then Phoenix proper. And I was like, oh, this downtown is really nice. Yeah. And I go, and I was like, oh, food's really good over here. And then I'm like, it's so funny that the freeways are like, hey, it's a 25-minute drive, but it didn't feel like a 25-minute drive because you're just moving constantly. And then found a lot of nice places and pretty places, and then it's not very far from Sedona or Flagstaff, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you're actually, it's like, because at first you think, oh, it's so hot here, it's terrible, it's disgusting, and then you get there and you're like, oh, it's actually It's actually a nice little kept secret.
Phoenix is really great. Yeah, I was there for 18 years, and I started comedy there, and I do go back and perform there kind of all the time. I'm not House of Comedy will headline me there, but I'm probably not going to be headlining at Stir Crazy. I'm still featuring all the time, which is cool. So it's, and then also I'll headline at Mic Drop, which is great. They do have a lot of good opportunities in that town, and they're on different sides of the town. Yeah. So it's not interfering too much.
And it's a good. It's a really good comedy town.
Yeah.
They had. I mean, well, there was at one point there was the whole, you know, you can't work this club, you can't work that club, but it kind of, I feel that died down a lot. But like at one point, I mean, you had the Comedy Spot, you had what's the other one that was on Bar Rescue, Stand Up Scottsdale.
Yeah, but I never went there. That was before I started.
Okay, and then there was.
I mean, they have an improv too. 2 improvs and Stand Up Live.
Stand Up Live. At CB Live.
That's now the Desert Ridge Improv.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, they changed it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then the House of Comedies, and now the Mic Drop over in Chandler.
Yeah, and JP's, and then you go to Tucson. You can do a nice little run in Phoenix. It's just, can you sell tickets? Can you fill the rooms? So like, I think the A clubs like get filled. Like the people, like the rooms that have an audience
built in.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's hard for me. I can only headline there, you know, once a year or so, because to get like my friends or my people out. I don't know. I guess that's what I'm struggling with too, is like how to get people to buy tickets, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you, everybody, right?
Yeah. But the thing too about like I said, talking about your favorite city and stuff like that, is there any city that you don't like? Maybe we shouldn't shit on cities, huh?
I know. Sometimes I don't want to name names, but some cities just feel super haunted and scary. Like I'm trapped in a coal mining town or something, and like if you die there, you're going to be stuck there forever kind of feeling. Like I get creeped out in some cities, or maybe it's just the condo of the club or whatever. Like you're like, am I still alive? Like
she said Sacramento. No, I was playing. I'm just joking. That's my hometown.
I love Sacramento.
You were just there.
Yeah, I was there Valentine's weekend.
Yeah, how was that?
It was really good. This was the second time I've headlined in Sacramento. It does feel weird for me to say that, and I almost feel like a little like, oh yeah, I wish I could just be like, oh yeah, I headlined there. But it's new for me by a couple of years. So I'm really grateful for the opportunities these bookers have given me to headline certain times.
What have you learned of headlining?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
2 shows.
And then maybe that's the issue I'm having right now too, where it's like, I love featuring. It's fun. Get in, get out, do your 10, your 20. Great, everybody likes you.
Sweet spot.
But like you kind of move up to headline and it's a different story. It's lonely. It's exhausting. And they might not like you. And you're really screwed.
Because you got to be there for a while.
Yeah. And so, but this time I feel like Jenny really set me up for success. Valentine's weekend, I feel like that's my time, you know? We had 4 shows, 7:30 like 7 and 9:30. The 7s were so good. Happy people on dates, just in love and cutesy. And then the 9:30 was like, I was dragged here. Like so many men on their phones, and I'm like, put them in the back, give them an iPad, and let them just sports bet in the back or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was good though. I mean, we didn't cancel any shows, so that was nice.
But yeah, you know, one thing.
And it was a special event, so no freebies.
Yeah, that's what's up. So it's all people there to pay attention.
Yeah.
When I started headlining, was like I had to have a really good memory, because I was like, I have to know what I said this show and not the last show. Because I was like, there had been times where I had said a callback to a joke I didn't even do that time.
That gets confusing.
Yeah, because you know, I go with the flow of the room, you know. So it's like sometimes the first show isn't the same as the second show. There might be 2 or 3 jokes that I do over again because they're just like, you know, to reset me. But sometimes I'll just go off, and then I've done callbacks to the joke. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about my dad, huh? My bad. I'm sorry. So anyways, my dad, and I don't care. I'll break the fourth wall or whatever. But, And it's crazy because you start to learn how to conserve your energy too as well.
Yeah.
You can't be on.
I need to learn that.
On 90 miles per hour the whole 45 or whole hour. So you have to learn how to just keep it. And that's the thing where I'm always telling people about the crowd work stuff. I'm like, for younger comics that want to do the crowd work thing, I'm like, but see, you don't need it because you're only up there for 20 minutes. So you just you could stay at the same speed for 20 minutes. You'll be fine. I got to go there, do that time plus more, double plus more. So it's like, I need to crowd work because I need to go in so I could bring the room back down and I could reset the gears and da-da-da-da. But those are things that I learned in headlining and stuff like that. But it's interesting.
That's helpful.
Yeah. And then what else is going to ask you too? Because you're talking about the, headlining and stuff like that. And it's a long journey to get to headlining for some and, and I know for me, because it took me a while. What are moments along the road that kept you going? To keep going, to try to be the headliner, to keep going in stand-up comedy and all. Well,
it's those people that like buy your merch and want pictures with you, and you can tell they really believe in you, and they're like, wow, they're like, I'm so glad I met you, I'm so glad I saw you, and how come you're not famous yet? Which is, I mean, that's a compliment. We know, we know the answer. No, but so I think it's like the connections that you make, and I don't know. It feels good, but it's like now you've kind of graduated to this other level, and it's like, oh, it's fun, but it's not as fun. But also, I can see how people do this for a living now at this level. If you can do that consistently, you can make a decent living.
Yeah.
When I was featuring, and I still feature, but especially like 2019, I was traveling everywhere. I'll go. You want me? Cool. I'll spend $800 to make $400, or So, but that was good for me. I feel like I need to go out and do it again. But that was like, oh, that's not sustainable. But if you're headlining, it is.
But that's the thing too, that people that like, that's the grind, and that's what makes a better comic to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm investing in myself. So I may not.
Yeah.
I may
it's
not
like
break
getting a degree.
Yeah. I may not break even this year, but I'll break even maybe next year.
Yeah, so that was a good investment. I feel like I need to probably go back and do it some more just to.
That's the road. That's road testing. That's good.
Yeah. So gosh, I feel so vulnerable. I'm because I'm sharing this out loud. A lot of my like insecurity or just it's hard, or I'm scared to say like, am I ready? I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I know that the answer is you have to just do it.
Yes.
And the people booking me wouldn't do it if they didn't think I was ready, because they don't mess around. You know what I mean? They're not just, oh, we like you, we're gonna let you ruin my club or whatever. So I think it's like you just have to work that muscle until it gets really strong and keep doing it. I just don't do it as often as someone else might.
Yeah, because it's like I remember one moment for me that kind of kept me going was I was actually here in Vegas. Oh no, no, it's okay. This couple said, hey, I know you. You're a comic, babe. He's the comic. He's a comic. And I look and I was like, yeah, I'm a comic. And I go, I'm Carlos Rodriguez. And he goes, yeah, we've seen you. You're hella funny. And I was like, awesome. And I was like, dude, I got recognized, and I'm not even in my city. And I don't know. I was like, oh, that felt good. And I was like, oh, that's what I needed. Just that little piece of recognition was like, you can do it. You can figure this out.
You know what? You almost have to come here blindly to follow your dream and say, this is what I'm going to do. And like have the audacity to do it if you're going to do it. I did that a few years ago. I said, I call it like calling in every favor. So everybody I've met along the way, I'm like, hey, I'm in town, you know? And it worked really nicely. Like I knew there was one club that I was like, they're not responding to my emails. I'm going to have to go there. And I did eventually get a guest set, and now I get to work there. And it's like, cool, it worked out. So you have to take those risks, and you kind of have to do it alone. If you're rolling with another comic, well, who's going to get the guest set now? Are they going to give everybody a guest set? No. So, yeah, I love that.
And then also too, like, you've done a lot. Like even you have a dry bar too, yeah?
Yeah, I filmed a dry bar special in 2021, and it came out late 2022. So that's been cool. It could use some more attention if anybody wants to watch it.
Yeah.
But that was a actually getting ready for that, and then the confidence I felt after, like having a cool credit like that, did more for me and my development and stuff than actually the special itself.
So walk me through that process.
What?
The whole dry bar thing and how it came about. What was it like when you got there? You know, like that whole...
Once I became aware of it, I got hyper fixated on it. And I was like, I want that. I think that would be good for me. I think they would like me. And so everybody, I would just talk to everybody who I knew had one. And even though I had the booking email, you know, I learned a lot of people, their agents booked them for it. You know what I mean? There's certain agents that will always, so anyways, would have known that. But I would always ask anybody that I would work with. And I'd work with a lot of dry bar folks, like Corey Michaelis.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's the only person I can think of right now. But I'd be like, hey, who books that? And it's really powerful just to ask somebody a good question and then shut up and let them talk to you. Because he might have given me the booking email, but he might have told me one or two new pieces, you know what I mean, of info. You know, Ryan Irwin, who now has 2 dry bar specials. So it's just like, hey, who books that? How does that work? And then people will tell you stuff. And then, you know, eventually somebody did recommend me. So that, I think that helped. Oh, yeah. And then it was during the pandemic. So the timing was a little odd. It got pushed back. And then when I was there, it was like these circular tables and people were in masks. So a little bit of the energy was a little off.
Oh, wow.
You know?
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because David Spade filmed a special during like that era, and he goes, the mask just muffled the laughter, and it just really brought me down. And I was like,
well, people were telling me one of the best things about dry bar is like that room, it's just hype and everybody's excited, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's at half capacity.
And everyone's spread apart, so laughs are even...
But it's a good company, and they've done some good work, and I see that they're finishing up like this season. They've got some neat names, you know, and so I'm glad that it exists. It's out there.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah,
a lot of people copying it now too, which is cool. You know, like you can film. Everybody loves these 30-minute specials.
Yeah, there's it's gotten a lot of pickup in. It's a credit. You know, you could use it at a comic club as a credit. I remember when they first started coming on, and then they were talking about like comic clubs. Like, yeah, we take that. I remember being at Big Pine, and some of the guys and the bookers were like, we take it as a credit now.
Agents and corporate, like people booking for corporate stuff, it's probably the best thing to have to get cruise work or corporate colleges, stuff like that, because they want you to work clean.
Yeah. So with that, like, so how you said that you like were like, I want this, I'm gonna go after it, and you went and got it. You know, like that was like, what else do you have? Any other dream gigs?
Oh, you know what? My biggest dream. And by the way, one of my friends at the time, she was like, you really manifested that. And I was like, I guess I did. Because I was just constantly thinking about it and talking about it. And that's what they say you have to do. If you want something, if you just hyper focus on it, you're going to be doing things to go in that direction. Honestly, you know what I really want? And I'm almost like scared to say it out loud. 'Cause I'm always afraid people will be like, who does she think she is? You can't do that, Mary.
Speaking to the universe.
Yeah.
I really want a late night set on like Jimmy Fallon. I love Seth Meyers. I love Stephen Colbert. Any of those, I would just that's my next, like, if I could do that, it'd be cool. But,
that'll work. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there's no reason why I couldn't.
No.
So, but I guess I just want to keep working at it and make sure I'm like really proud and really ready. Sometimes you get things before you're ready, and I've learned that lesson too. And it's like, now you got to take it.
Yeah.
If I filmed a dry bar today, it would be better than when I filmed it 4 years ago. But you have to take these opportunities as they come, I guess.
I remember a comic asking me who wasn't ready at all to do an Amazon Prime special. And he kind of knew he wasn't ready to. It wasn't a secret. And he goes, do you think I should do it? And I go, hey, younger me would have been like, don't take it. You wait until you're ready. You only get one first impression. I go, but now, don't nobody give a fuck anymore. It's quantity over quality now. So go ahead and just keep doing it. Keep doing everything. Say yes to everything. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Just have it on your belt as a credit, as a note. I was like, because that's all the people are going to look at.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of have a coaching background, a coaching mindset or whatever. I've studied coach. I have a little certificate. But it is kind of a practice in coaching of like saying yes, and you already know what you want to do. And so when people say, should you do something? If you ask me if you should do something, the answer is going to be yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's not up to me to tell you no, you know, and if you already know what you want to do, so go do it. And I think, and this might be why I recently won the Exemplar Award for being a good role model in comedy from the Comedy Reviewers. Sorry, I don't, it's like, let me brag. No, but, and I think it is because one thing is when people talk to me, I encourage them and then they feel good and they're like, well, thanks, I'll go do that. And then they do it and they probably have some success and they might be like, well, Mary told me to do that or whatever. I don't know, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I just told you weren't dumb. And that's all we need to hear.
Sometimes that's all
just
someone needs is just a little nudge in the right direction. Like, you can do it.
Just like what we were talking about before this started. I'm like, bitch, get out there. Do the thing you want to do the most.
Yeah. Just be a little nudge.
So that's my like philosophy. That's what I believe.
It's funny because like I mean people that are you know that are on TikTok and stuff like that only have 30 seconds of material are getting late night sets. So fucking why not you? I mean, you got.
I can't do it for myself. I can only help other people. For me, I'm like, you dumb bitch. Who do you think you are?
Speaking of TikTok like sensations and meme moments, what's your algorithm like?
My algorithm?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't want to get into it, but politics, not with you. No, a little bit of politics and the resistance. Lots of dogs, lots of dachshunds, which I really love. Cats, because my best friend likes cats, and now I like cats because of it. But I'm really a dachshund dog person. And then like hair, makeup, and why do plus size clothes never look flattering? You should buy these. And I'm like, okay. So a lot of like clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my life. That's like what I consume. It knows me.
Do you have any favorite like viral or meme moments, meme things?
Yes. Things? Oh my gosh, so many. I just saw one the other day. It's an oldie but a goodie of the girl who's giving a little hair tutorial with the spiral curling arm. And she's like, you need, let me see if I can look at the camera. She's like, I'll do it to you. She's like, all right, you need to use this protectant spray, and this is what I use, and then you just want to take this hair, and then you want to wrap it, and then she's like, you hold it there. And I hold it a little bit longer. And then it's like, it burns, and like it burns right here.
It burns her whole hair
off? And she goes, you just see it on her face. And it's like,
She start crying?
She's just like, turns off the camera, and it's like, she just took a chunk of her hair off. And I mean, she must have held it there too long, but you just feel it. And she thought she was so cool.
Yeah.
And I identify with that one.
Oh, you know what? You're the one that showed me about the little drawers, and they were making little things, right? A little
drawers.
Well, this lady had a whole bunch of drawers of a whole bunch of trinkets.
Okay. So I don't know if it's here or if it's maybe in like China or something. Well, these people sell defense keychains. And the whole video is them packing the order. So they're like, this person wants us like all purple. And then I don't know what they do with these balls, but they like pick the balls to tell you what. But it's always the same things. Mm-hmm. So anyways, then they're like, all right, all purple. And then they have like these drawers with their inventory.
Yeah. I
think it makes you feel like when your kids used to play school. It's like I'm playing shipping and receiving. And in this one, they're like, okay, and they pull it out, and it's like, it's the kitty knuckles, like it's a pink kitty knuckles, and it's a self-defense tool on your keychain, so if somebody, you can stab somebody, and it's a bunch of knives, basically.
We're in the green room, and she's showing me this because I'm like,
it's fascinating, right?
And I'm watching the whole thing because I'm into shit like that. Like I will watch shit like that, and I'll watch people power wash a fucking driveway.
Oh, I like that
cleanliness of it's like it's organization. Your brain just like zones out and so self-satisfying
so by the time this keychain is done, it's a purple keychain, and there's like a key with a knife, kind of like it's a fake key, a pom-pom, a taser, a pepper spray, but it's all in the same color.
Yeah.
A little purse wallet, and you feel like one of those girls, like a senior in high school who just got, who's just like
hella playing with it. Yeah.
Big.
It's got one of those those little baton things too that have like the stuff inside of them. The little,
that'd be perfect to add.
Like a little lava baton.
So I sometimes watch that one, but sometimes I get mad because you know what? If they say all purple, and they do this on purpose, they'll pull it. You'll see the purple one and they'll grab silver or pink,
so
and you're like,
annoying.
That's not purple.
And I'm wondering if they're doing that for comments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have to be,
it makes
because
you mad.
They mess with your brain. I
Fuck
don't
with
like
you.
that.
I think making a mistake is the best way to get people to comment. Because and I've done it to people. I never comment anymore.
Oh,
Do you know what happened to me?
I don't comment ever, but what
happened to you?
I'm devastated. This is why I can't be a TikTok star, because I can't handle. Okay, but
Yes.
it wasn't me.
I get
so
that.
this other girl had put this joke on there, and I don't think she was like a real comedian. But she said Pete Hegseth said that he wouldn't drink anymore if he got that job, as the head of the Secretary of Defense. Oh. I don't know. Has anybody in D.C. seen him at an AA meeting? And I wrote, well, you wouldn't because it's anonymous.
Yeah.
And then she wrote, that's the joke, Mary.
Oh.
And I was like, I think you're missing something then, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then this lady named Barb Ann wrote, Mary claims to be a comedian. If she were a good one, I think she would have gotten that joke.
It's
And I
her
was like,
roasting you.
Fuck you, Barb Ann.
Barb Ann 525. Fuck you.
Yeah. And I'm like, excuse me, I have to go headline a real comedy club in front of real people this weekend. I don't just tell jokes to my camera with no reaction. I mean, I left it alone because I didn't want to get roasted anymore. And I know who I am. But it still hurts. It hurts.
She said that was 3 months ago, and I still think about it to this day. She said, I woke up in the morning, fucking Barbara Ann. Barbara Ann.
One time I commented on something and I got a bunch of bots talking shit, and I'm like, that I could tell that was a bot.
Oh, I didn't.
They were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know that.
Anyways, it's a nasty place, the internet, the TikTok.
It is.
Don't go there.
Twitter's a cesspool.
Oh gosh.
I was gonna ask you too. So, what are you watching right now?
I'm watching White Lotus, the new season. It's a little slow, but I'm dedicated to it. I am watching Deadwood with my boyfriend.
Deadwood, it's so fun. That's the HBO Western.
Yes.
Yeah.
That show is like fucking Shakespeare, the way they talk. At first I thought it was like they were dumb, but it's like, no, it's like poetic.
Yeah, it's a diameter. What the fuck? How do you say it?
Diatic
diameter?
Diatic pentameter?
Yes.
That's the Shakespeare, that's
Shakespearean,
it is very, it's a good show. It's a little, sometimes I fall asleep, but, I think I enjoy watching a program with my significant other.
Yeah. I was going to get her to watch it because she had passed. She was like, it's 20 years old. She was like, what is this? I go, oh, it's a really good show. I was like, I've seen it all. And, Timothy Olyphant's in it and Ian McShane. And even, what's his name? The skinny dude. He's Timothy Olyphant's buddy, but he's in everything too. But yeah, it's a really good
Dillahunt? Jared Dillahunt?
Yeah, is that him? Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I noticed by watching those shows that I never watched but were very popular, and I think this is true for The Wire also. If sometimes you're like, why is that person famous? And then you're like, oh, they were in The Wire. Well, if you didn't watch The Wire, then you don't really know them. And same thing with Deadwood. I'm like, oh, that person was in this. What's her name? Skylar from Breaking Bad is in Deadwood. Mm-hmm. But when I saw her in Breaking Bad, I was like, who is this bitch?
Yeah.
She looks like Woody Harrelson. No, so it's kind of where a lot of actors
came from. Their start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's not their first job because that's a big job. If you were in Deadwood, I think that's a great credit.
Yeah. Did you
Probably
watch
did theater?
Did you watch The Wire?
No, but I can't seem to get past the first episode.
That's interesting.
But everyone says it. But I trust it. If somebody says this is the best show, it's usually really good.
I mean, I watched it, and I watched it because everyone was like, "You have to see this." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll watch it." And I watch everything, and it's just interesting. The thing though, the thing I didn't like is that every season was completely somewhere else.
Oh,
and,
in The Wire?
Yeah, because The Wire at first it's on the streets, and it's all just in the streets of Baltimore, and then it jumps. The second season is all on the docks. of Baltimore. And I mean, and some of the cop squad that you followed, they all disperse, and then you kind of follow. Some people come in, some people come out. Same thing with like the kids. And then the third season is all, I want to say it's in politics.
Oh.
And then the fourth season is kind of like, kind of everything comes together, but kind of not. Kind of, it's just really. And then I was like, all right, I guess. Wasn't the biggest fan of The Wire, but
okay.
I get why people liked it, and it was just different at the time because I seen it when it already was done, and I get where sometimes when you do that, you're like, oh well, I get this. I've seen this already before. They did this, and like, well, they got that from this.
Right,
like, okay,
right.
I'm sorry about that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is there a show? What show would you?
Can I ask you a question? How dare you?
What show would you love to watch again for the first time? Like if you had never seen it, you get to sit down and watch it from scratch and experience it new.
It's so funny because it's such a short show and it's such a small show, and it's Reservation Dogs.
Oh.
I would watch Reservation Dogs over again if I can get my memory wiped and watch it over again. I mean, it's only 3 seasons, but it was such a. To me, it's like, it's perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect.
I love that. I love when somebody calls something perfect. That's a perfect show.
Yeah, and I know some people are going to disagree with that because they're like, oh, well, it was this and it was that, and it's just like, it's Stand By Me meets, Killers of Flower Moon meets, all kinds of stuff. That it's just, and then it's just its own thing and its own sense of humor, because it's like, it's you never ever get to see Native Americans funny or even and the funny that they have on that show. It's out of like honesty, which is one I love. I like when I watch stand-up comedy, or if I gravitate towards people that have comedy where it's coming from an honest place, and I'm like, dude, that's so fucking fun. I never thought about it that way. I've always tried to like model my stand-up on people not only laughing but afterwards saying like, I never thought of it that way. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's
that's great.
Because I first seen this quote when I was about 18. I started doing stand-up at 16, and then I seen this quote. I read this quote, and it said, if you make people think, they'll hate you, but if you make people think that they are thinking, then they'll love you. And I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, dude, that's fucking dope. I was like, so I want to start writing like that. So that's what I tried to do.
Currently I'm watching Superstore like at night before bed.
Never got to see it.
I love
It's
Superstore.
really good.
It's really good. It's really funny.
Much.
Because that's like America Ferrera, right?
Yeah, and I really love her.
Me too.
And the show's so good because it's the ensemble, the
Yeah.
characters. And I was just listening to America Ferrera on Mark Maron's podcast, and it was last year when she was nominated for an Oscar for Barbie movie. And she was talking about it's about working class people, like done in a funny way, but they really dealt with some real issues. And yeah. And then I have a friend who was on it, who I met later, Chris Grace.
Okay.
I met him at he was at World Series of Comedy, and then at Laugh After Dark, and then and some other things. But that was very exciting.
It's so funny that we've been at a lot of festivals.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, I feel like I've taken a little bit of a break, or I'm doing less every year, but.
Which is a good thing. Which is you're supposed to after.
Well, the way I feel about it, and I don't want to make anybody mad, but it's like some of the industry has already seen me, and I want to develop and grow, and I want them to see me doing something different when I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally get that.
I don't have the right answers, but I'm just trying to do the next best thing
Nobody
for me.
does.
I know, but so yeah, I like Superstar too, and Righteous Gemstones is coming back like next week.
We were just talking about that, and I need to start it because I never watched it.
Did you watch Succession?
No.
Okay, so it's pretty much the same show.
Oh yeah, okay. Really? Are you serious? Because I thought Succession's about like Richard Murdoch or
about patriarch, like a big time dad, right?
Okay.
In charge of a big company or entity, and then his 3 kids.
Okay.
Right? He's got 3 kids, and one's really smart, one's
just drama, one's just comedy. Okay.
And they're all vying for power, right?
Yeah.
Like
There's another show
It's
too.
also Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. It's
what
everything.
What show have you not seen that everyone saw?
Gosh. I mean, just The Wire. I watched The Sopranos last year.
Oh yeah, what'd you think about that? My wife doesn't like it. She watched the first. She got one season.
I liked it. I mean, I was watching it because my boyfriend really likes Sopranos. So I like the bonding, and he definitely quotes it a lot. So it did help me like
understand him.
Yeah. I liked it. A little cheesy in some parts, and also I'm thinking back to when it was big. Remembering how much everybody loved. I worked at Men's Warehouse around that time, so all the guys I worked with thought they were all gangster and cool, and I'm like, and Tony Soprano was really dressed in like Men's Warehouse business casual. I recognized like his clothes.
You're like, I know that.
Mock turtleneck, sports coat. I mean, he was a sharp dresser.
Yeah.
It was cool. I liked it, I guess. Yeah.
There's Shameless is one that I didn't see.
Shameless is actually one of the only shows I quit. I usually won't quit a show. I have to see it to the end. But once you haven't seen Shameless,
no.
I don't know what season 5 maybe. I had enough. Like I can't stand these people continuing to lose.
Oh, that's so funny that you say that.
They gotta win at some point.
Oh, I'm like that, and I have to say because Shameless has been on my list because everybody tells me I'm from Chicagoland. You have to watch it. It was the same with The Bear.
Yeah, The Bear.
I like
The Bear's so good. I finally got through season 1. And I'm just really slow because that.
You can stop now. I mean.
Yeah, but the thing is, it just reminds me of family. Like, so when people watch that show, I'm like, oh, I'm telling them that's really how it is.
Oh, really? Okay, I gotta check it out.
It can be.
There's an episode that I think that episode is like highly renowned. It's the Feast of Seven Fishes or something, and it's like
heard about this.
It's a bottle episode, or I think it would qualify as a bottle, but it does have a lot of people in it. It's basically just at the Christmas dinner.
My therapist said I have to watch this.
Yeah,
this
I had a hard time watching it, but later everyone's saying how great it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very crazy. But yeah, Shameless. It was good, but sometimes these shows go on too long.
Yeah, there was a show. I can't remember what it was because we started talking. I got ADD'd out, but I remember there was a show that I stopped liking the characters. They were just unredeemable. I was like, I don't even like any of these characters anymore.
Ooh, what was that?
I can't remember which one. I'm like, was it Sons of Anarchy? Or I can't remember which show it is. I was like,
you really have to like the characters.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even care about them anymore, and I don't even like. They're all terrible people at some point that they're not redeemable anymore. No matter what selfless act they do now, it doesn't negate like the 17 things they did that it was terrible prior to. And I can't remember what show it was now.
There's I never got into the show How to Get Away with Murder. I remember I wanted to, and I know that's a long time ago. Nobody cares about it, but I think that's what was happening. I was like, I don't like any of these people. There's nothing in it that's whatever. But did you watch Parks and Recreation?
Yeah, I watched it. That's a show I quit. I quit that in I think season 4 or 5.
Well, I saw something about the changes they made from season 1 to 2, and I was like, oh yeah, and it was so smart. They made Leslie good at her job, whereas in the first season it was a little like bumbling idiot.
Yeah,
and it's like no, and it made it more likable. And that's like a thing in improv or character development is like make them good at something.
Yeah,
they don't have to be all like negative and bad or whatever. And then it was also like that one guy, Mark Brandanowitz, like he wasn't in the later seasons. They're like, why not? And I'm like, well, once they kind of tuned up every character, he wasn't happy to be there. He wasn't his character. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I'm not doing it any justice, but
no.
The adjustments were really interesting, and I think that's something we can do in our stand-up too. Like, it's like saying, say yes. Mm-hmm. Like you are the expert. Nobody needs to know you don't know or you don't.
I always tell comics, do not say how long you've been doing stand-up on stage.
Yeah.
They do not know that you haven't been doing this for 20 years. They don't know that. They don't know that you've been just doing this for a year. Because once you do that, they lose all confidence in you. They're like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
So all your fears that you have in your head are now true because you validated it with saying how long you've been doing it, and people will.
Same reason why I don't say I'm taking a break with my podcast. I'm like, you'll see an episode when you see it.
Or same thing when people say they quit stand-up. I can't fucking.
I will
stand
never
that.
tell. You just won't hear from me.
Yeah. I can't stand.
I've quit so many times. You don't even know. No, I just go on vacation.
What were you saying too right now? I was about to add on to it about backtrack.
I was about Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, that's what it was. So Parks and Rec, it's actually done by the same people that did The Office.
Yeah.
And so that's same theory, same thought process. First season, Michael's a bumbling idiot, but the second season they go, we have to make him good at being a salesman, and then he could be an asshole around the whole thing that has no self. So they zone in on that. And I was watching another show like that, and that they kind of same people almost. Brooklyn 999.
Oh, I couldn't get too far into that one.
Yeah, it was opposite. Everything that every other character was, it was completely opposite. And I go, hey, this is The Office, just a bizarro version. And I was like, I get it. But yeah, those shows were. I'm trying to think what's coming out. Is there anything coming out that you are dying to see?
I've really been getting away from television a bit.
Okay, good.
I know. Well, there's nothing left on regular TV.
No.
Even Abbott Elementary, I loved so much the first couple seasons, but I'm not feeling as like I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just too addicted to TikTok, which is dangerous. But I really like that show Ghosts on CBS. You seen Ghosts? It's really good. I think it's
it's
great.
like it was the one that used to be a British show, but now it's American version.
Yeah,
Okay, yes,
which
yes, yes.
apparently all of them are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we
Office.
also started watching High Potential with Caitlin Olsen from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like a crime drama.
Is that good?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's something my parents also like, so it's not something I would normally watch. But I learned that's a British show too. So that was a new show I picked up.
That's funny that you talk about how I'm just thinking about too now the things that I stopped watching. I stopped watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I also stopped watching something else too that you just said. Fuck, I forgot. Abbott Elementary. No, Walking Dead. That's what it was.
Oh, see, I stuck that out until the end, but it's like
now there's like 17 spinoffs.
Dumb. Don't even know.
Can't even do it.
No, you had your choice.
Yeah.
You had your chance.
Well, I want to say thanks for coming out, Mary.
Oh, I'm not done. We've got 20 more things to talk about.
Oh yeah, cool. Keep it going. Let's roll. What you got?
kidding.
Let's
No,
talk.
no.
Let's talk politics. What you got?